Well, hey guys, Reza here from Budget Audio Reviews. Today we'll be going through the TRN-VX. Now this is a real toughie for me since I got this, and this review has been long awaited, I think for almost 2 weeks, and I want to thank TRN for sending me this set of VXs together with the 8-core copper cable and also the foam tips. So thank you TRN. I'll give my honest opinion over this pair of earphones. It took me this long because this was a tough one for me to put a finger on it. Again, as a beginner, it took quite some time for me trying to understand the different characteristics of different in-ear monitors. Now these guys, I must say that I would put 3 words on this. They are aggressive technical experts. So these guys, they may be immediately aggressive to your ears as you're listening to it. I would like to refer you immediately to this article here. This was brought to my attention by a member from the NBBA group, Gary Chow. Thank you so much. This is an article written by Kopi O Kaya, one of the tuners for the TRN-VX, and again he's been around for a long time. You know, I found out that he has put in a lot of effort into the IEM and tuning industry within China. He also resides in Singapore, so that's a cool fact to know. I would like to share with you this article here immediately, because for those guys who have bought the VX and then you are quite concerned about the very hot sounding trebles, the glassy trebles, those are the things that bothered me initially. Again, as a beginner, I was so excited with all the new stuff that came along with this package that I forgo this basic cables here, and I immediately put on the 8-core cable. And then I found out through this article here, Kopi O Kaya mentioned that the cables are not ideal because it brings out the harsh sounds. So I think he mentioned it here. When TRN sent out their samples, they included their latest T4 OCC copper cable in the bundle. Frankly, this cable brings out the worst of the VX. It is both lean and harsh. So I did not know that the copper cables that came along with the VX would alter the sound drastically. So as a beginner, when I heard those sounds, I thought, hey, maybe that's how it's supposed to sound like. That's how hard the trebles are supposed to sound like. So I just lived with it for a while, and these guys had quite a bit of work in terms of trying to switch out the tips. So I tried working with the foam tips, I went back to the stock tips, I tried the CCA silicone tips, and finally rested with the foam tips that they gave. So these foam tips are a little bit better because it kind of smooths out the trebles a little bit more, and I stuck with this original cables that stock out of the box instead of the T4 cables. Okay, so let's dive in straight into the sound quality. These guys are very good. I'll just make immediate reference to this article because I think Kopi O Kaya has made very good insightful comments about this particular earphones here, and we don't have to beat around the bush and trying to make and come to our own conclusions, because what my ears here are very similar to what has been mentioned here. This VX is actually a follow-up series from the V80, V90, and then the VX. I didn't realize that till I saw V8, V9, and VX is V10. So that was cleverly done by TRN in terms of the marketing perspective. So these guys are aggressive sounding in the sense of the trebles come and attack you and bite you. So but other than that, these guys are very good in-ear monitors. They're very good earphones. Reason being, let's break it down slowly from bass, mids, and trebles. From my personal experience so far over the past couple of weeks trying to listen to this guy a couple of hours every day, the bass is an accurate bass. It's not bloomy, and they do very well with equalization. I'll get to the equalization a little bit further in the video. So it does very well with the bass, very accurate bass. It's good punch, doesn't boom so much in its stock settings. Mids, they are, again, due to that slight V shape of the tuning design of the earphones, the mids tend to be back slightly as compared to the BA5. So the BA5 mids are up front and personal. These mids are slightly back, but not behind. They are not behind the musicians. They are not behind the orchestra. They are not behind the rest of the instruments. They are in line with the rest of the instruments and the orchestra. So things like from Whitney Houston's tracks, I did find that Whitney Houston stood in line with the musicians. I'll make reference to that music in a while. So I did like over here, yes, Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. This particular track, on the BA5, the vocals are forward and intimate. On the VX, the vocals are just in line with the rest of the instruments that she's singing along with. So in terms of the mids, the VX has a kind of very clear timbre to the music. It's less warm than the BA5, but it's very precise, it's very clear, and it's in line with the rest of the music. Coming to the trebles, the trebles are very good. They have that crisp, slightly sibilant nature, but I think most users have pointed out that the spikes in the sound is around the 4 kilohertz to 8 kilohertz zone frequencies. So those things irritates you after about half an hour or so. So I realized that maybe the analogy I would like to put with the VX is like looking at your oven toaster when you see the heating coils heat up. Initially the heating coils have that nice glow and you really enjoy how it looks like in terms of the glow of the heating coils, until later when you put your hands in and you start feeling that warmth, and that warmth goes to a zing level where it starts to hurt you. So this is like that. This is like a toaster oven that heats up your ears and then it zings you after some time. Now there is an immediate quick fix to this. Now coming back to the article here, alright, alright, so there are a few mods that is suggested. Now for the harsh trebles, the first mod that Kopi O Kaya mentions here is not so much of the Micropore tape mod, which is quite common in the hobby, but it's to equalize it. So I don't have a parametric equalizer on my mobile phone, so I'm using Wavelet, but I'm trying to understand the Q factor. So he said that it's at the 8 kilohertz with a Q factor of between 2.5 to 3.0. So I believe that's a range of decibels between plus minus 8 kilohertz. So what I did with the Wavelet app is I did tune down the trebles. So I'm gonna flip the phone. Alright, so over here I'm just going to read out the frequencies, right? So on the extreme right is 19.2, is 9.6, 4.8, 2.4, 1.2. I'm going to focus on the mids to the highs first. So as you can see, I've made a gradual sweeping U-shaped curve on the right side of the equalizer. So at 2.4 kilohertz is minus 0.8 decibels, 4.8 kilohertz at minus 1.3 decibels, 9.6 kilohertz is at minus 1.6 decibels, and 19.2 kilohertz at minus 1.2. So I made a slight sweep here, and again, without the Micropore mod as yet, because I currently don't like to do anything physical with the in-ear monitors, with the earphones right now. So I try and use what's available in terms of the external stuff, which is the foam tips, cables, and also the equalizer. So with this equalization here, yes, this is very, very good. It helps to clean out the harsh glassy trebles a little bit more, and it's a little bit easier on my ears, and I'm able to listen to the VX for a longer period of time. Now the VX is a highly technical pair of earphones. I do enjoy them very much because of the imaging and instrument separation, and also the very wide soundstage. So the VX is able to give a very deep and wide soundstage, which is very, very impressive. Again, Amber Rubaff's Tundra is amazing because the room sounds so big on the VX. As compared to the BA5, you got the soundstage, but that's a little bit more intimate. This guy go really wide. So very, very good design here. So I think the VX is specced up and overbuilt so that the hobbyists like us is able to tune it according to how we want. So I'm thinking positively here that this would be a very good pair of earphones for us to mod and adjust according to how you like to listen it to. So I do like a little bit more bass on my listening on my earphones. So as compared to the CCA CA16, this is more on the treble end. The CA16 is more on the bass end. So what I did with this guys was I just boosted the bass a little bit more at the 7.5 hertz. I have 0.9 decibels, 150 hertz. I have 1.2 decibels, 300 hertz, 0.8 decibels, and somewhere in between 600 and 1.2, it's at 0. So this curve here gives me somewhat the best of both worlds. I've got that nice good boom, not so much boom, but nice good punch to the bass a little bit more. So I do get the subwoofer feeling a little bit on this pair of earphones. And the control trebles a little bit more. So now overall the mids sound a little bit warmer. Overall it doesn't sound so harsh, and I'm able to listen to this thing straight for 2 hours to 3 hours without hurting my ears in that sense. So the VX is an extremely good and technical piece of earphones. I do enjoy them very, very much, and it takes a little bit of adjustments. So if you've been in the hobby a long while, then you probably know what to do based on Kopi O Kaya's suggestions here. For example, this particular one, which is the tape mod. So if you are familiar with the tape mod, go ahead with the tape mod. I think the tape mod is very, very well done here. It's very simple to apply. So there are a lot of members or hobbyists that have used the Micropore tape mod to ensure that they cut off this brittle or glassy upper mid range. So I have not tried this, but Gary Chow has successfully done this, and he said yes, it works very, very well. The other thing that Kopi O Kaya mentioned here is tips. You have to roll the tips and try different tips. So far, I've not gone into purchasing all the other aftermarket tips like from Final Audio, JVC, Spiral Dots, Asla Setna ear fits, and so on that's mentioned here on the article. I've only used the foam ones that's provided by TRN, and so far they work very well for me. Maybe over time I'll start purchasing different tips and experimenting. And final one he mentioned here is the traditional snake oil remedy, which is the cables. I did initially was skeptical about cables until I swapped the T4 cables back to the stock cables, and I did find a noticeable difference in bringing down that that harsh and lean sound that Kopi O Kaya mentions here in this section 4 of his article. And I was quite surprised that yes, cables do make a difference in how it sounds. So he mentions here that there is a Inwoo 8-core OFC copper cable, and I did look that up. So that cable on AliExpress, I'm not sure, I think it's about maybe 14 to 20 Singapore dollars, and the specifications there, it says that this helps to boost the bass and the mids. So I might try that out, but right now I don't want to be spending any more money on the VX. I think as it is right now, it is very good. Again, this review is based on using the VX directly to my mobile phone with no USB DAC, with no amplifier, nothing. So it's driven straight off my mobile phone and using Spotify at 320 kbps. So overall, it is a very good pair of earphones that gives you excellent imaging, excellent soundstage, excellent clarity, excellent mids. Again, it is not as intimate as the BA5, but it gives very good clear timbre to the artist's voice, especially female vocals. I listen to more female vocals, so I can't give a good impression on male vocals. So and it is able to bring out the details of very old tracks, like things from Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, right? Ella Fitzgerald, and all the old stuff. The thing about a very high precision earphones like this, well, what happens, it picks up all the other stuff in the recording that you might not like to listen to, the other artifacts in the recording that may sound annoying to your ears. But that's the beauty of the hobby, that you can decide what you like to listen to. Today, if you want more details, pick up the TRN-VX. So these guys are detail monsters, and after you tune off those trebles a little bit more of the equalizer, or do the Micropore tape mod or the cable mod, I think these guys perform very, very well as a very highly analytical piece of earphones. They are musical in that sense as well, that you can bop to the music and enjoy and bop your head to different kinds of tracks, like from, yes, Prodigy works very well here, Chemical Brothers, alright, Propeller Heads, all those are very, very good. All the EDM tracks can do very well on the VX here. So these are very, very excellent pair of earphones, but they are fairly finicky in how you start them off. So you have to get help from such articles like this to get you off on the right foot. Out of the box with the silicone ear tips may not be very, very ideal. So the equalization is important. Micropore tape mod if it's necessary. Cable, change cable mod. Likely if you have the added budget, you can try that out. Anything else that that Kopi O Kaya mentions here? Yes, I will agree definitely for sure that these guys have very good spatial perception. Alright, open, it's got good air to the sound, so you have this nice sense of space when you're listening to the TRN-VX. So these are well suited for a lot of classical, symphonic, orchestra based kind of listening. They are not as maybe some people use for Sennheisers the word lush. They don't have that lush sound, but they have the accurate sound. So these guys have the accurate sound for symphonic and classical work. Soundtracks they do very well as well. It's very exciting for soundtracks, so I do enjoy listening to, let's say, Jurassic Park and maybe the Bourne series, soundtracks from the Bourne series. They're a very exciting piece of earphones to listen to. Other than that, it took me quite a while to come and make this video, so thanks for watching. I hope what I've shared here will be helpful for you anytime, from beginners to those that have been in the hobby for a long time. This VX do need some work, but overall they are an excellent pair of earphones if you follow what Kopi O Kaya has mentioned here in his article, together with this cool VX bottles here, the TRN-VX Modding, Antidote to Venom. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. Reza here from Budget Audio Reviews. Do like, share and subscribe to the channel if you like what you seen today. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next video.